Hi, I'm Petru Popescu and welcome back to another video. This time I'm not going to cover programming, but something very interesting. I'm sure that you heard about AI image generation. Here are just a few examples which I generated. We can have a photorealistic one. This is a samurai. Some trippy mushrooms drawn in watercolors. Maybe some isometric buildings for games. Some interesting androids, manga style, or more photorealistic. AI image generation is a very powerful tool, and I'm sure you heard about Dall-E currently at its third version because it continues to evolve, or Midjourney. But what if I told you there are free alternatives which offer a lot more power and a lot more customizability? And that is why I want to talk now about Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion is the underlying algorithm that generates all these images, and you can freely use it directly on your own hardware without paying anything. There is a small catch, and I'm going to talk about it a bit later on, but first let's see how we get started. There are multiple ways of getting started with Stable Diffusion. What I'm using is Vlad Manic's SD Next Advanced implementation, which is a fork of Automatic 1111, which is one of the most widely used implementations, but there are others as well. I recommend using SD Next or Automatic 1111 because it is very easy to get started and doesn't require any advanced knowledge. All you have to do is go to this GitHub page. I'm going to paste the link in the description and clone this repository. I have already done that, and after that you'll have this project here on your local computer. After that, open a terminal, go to the place where you downloaded the source code, and just execute webui.bat. For the first time, it's gonna take a bit to get started, because it will have to download many dependencies. Since I already ran the project multiple times, it's gonna be a lot faster for me, but still it's gonna take about a minute and a half for the application to start. Let's speed things up a bit. Another thing you need to do is to download the models, also called checkpoints. Checkpoints are the trained AI models, and these are used by the algorithm to generate the image. The better the model, the better the generated image will look, and the more realistic or in the style that you wish the image to be, it will look. For this, I recommend using Civit AI. Again, I'm going to paste the link in the description. And here under models, you can find all sorts of trained data. You have realistic ones, you have ones that look like drawings, one that looks like animes, and so on. Most of them can generate images in multiple styles, but there are a few that are very targeted. Just pick one. Let's download this one, for example, and go to download. The model is quite big. Don't worry about it. Once the download is finished, just copy the downloaded file from your download location to models, and here you have Stable Diffusion. I already have multiple models downloaded, including the one we just downloaded earlier. After that, restart your application. Since I didn't change anything, I'm not going to restart it at the moment. Once the application started, go to localhost 7860. This is the default port where it is running. And here under base model, you can see all the downloaded models. And you are greeted with this interface. I know it may seem confusing at the moment, but once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to use. Here you have the prompt where you enter what you want to generate and the negative prompt. If Well, for example, you don't want black and white. You can have here black and white. Things that you don't want to be in the generated image. This is a more advanced feature and it is used to more granularly refine the generated images. And you have multiple configuration options. You have the sampling method. This is the underlying algorithm, and each one has advantages and disadvantages. I mostly use DPM++ and the number of sampling steps. The bigger the number, the more it will take for the image to be generated. However, it will be better and it will follow the prompt better. I usually use somewhere between 40 and 70. Let's just use 50 for this example. And you have the batch size. You have the number of images to be generated in one batch and the number of batches. Let's just generate one image. And let's see, what do we want to generate? Let's have a cyberpunk city nightscape with neon colors. And now we hit generate. It's gonna take a bit, and after that we have this generated image. It is of lower resolution because I generated it at 512 at 512, but we can go higher. The higher we go with the generated image, the more it will take for the image to generate. However, there are methods of upscaling it. That is why we have process from image, and we can even train our own data, but this is more advanced. Prompts can be quite complex, and depending on the model you are using, it can generate better or worse images. For example, here's an older prompt that I used. As you can see, it is very realistic and it follows the prompt quite well. You can generate multiple images and choose the best one. Stable Diffusion is very flexible. You have many configuration options and you can even generate things that are banned or not permitted on commercial applications such as Dall-E or Midjourney. You have a lot more control over the generated image, and even though it requires a bit more work to get the right prompt, the end result is sometimes better than the ones generated by the commercial versions. Now, in the beginning, I said that there is a catch. While Stable Diffusion is free to use, not all models or all checkpoints are available for commercial use. Not a major problem for most. However, there is another disadvantage, and that is it requires quite competent hardware. I am currently running it on an RTX 4080, and I don't recommend anything lower than an RTX 3060. I used GTX 1060 in the beginning just for experimenting and for seeing what Stable Diffusion can do. However, generation is quite slow. You need quite powerful hardware, more precisely a very good GPU, in order to be able to generate images without taking them too long and at higher resolution. The more powerful your GPU is, the faster it will be to generate the image and the higher the resolution you can go to. If you already have a gaming PC, this is not a problem. But keep in mind that generating AI images does require hardware, and hardware that is quite powerful. That's it for now. I hope that this video was interesting and that you have fun with this tool.